What's going on, everybody? I'm joined with the American Nomad, Brett Pastore. How's it going?
Going great. How you doing today?
Saturday, it's the weekend, so I'm not having to do my day job, so that's good. How was training today? I know you were in some training sessions earlier.
Training was great today. Yeah, I just had 9 matches last week with Sambo, so I'm still beating up from that. But I'm still training real hard, even though I'm not in camp. Training twice a day, running my sprints. Yeah, about to start my camp soon, and can't wait.
So congratulations on your big win at Fury FC 103 against Lester Bottrace Jr., a guy that had some hype on him, an undefeated guy. So it sounds like you already got another fight. I'm assuming that's with Fury again.
That is correct.
Uh,
So this will be my fourth professional undefeated opponent in a row. Coming up. So yeah, everyone I fight is undefeated.
and you're people are the undefeated guys are quickly going to stop signing that contract against you. You're going to be known for taking that O.
Yes, sir.
You can't give us a name, or because I don't think that's been announced yet, can you?
Um, I don't know if I'm allowed to announce it. I know I said yes, and he said yes. I still have to sign the contract, but I am going to say he is undefeated. And yeah, I have seen him fight on Fury before, but yeah, maybe I won't announce the name yet. So the contract hasn't been signed, so
Okay, I'm
I'm
I'm gonna
waiting
have
for
to
that.
do some homework and trying to guess who that is. I'm a big Fury guy, so I'm gonna have to
Mhm.
try and figure out who that is. Seeing you brought up the Sambo Championships, and I was scrolling the Instagram, and I think that's a little bit after your next fight with Fury, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so right after the fight with Lester Batres, like about a week or two after, I did Sambo Nationals. Nationals is to make Team USA. So I won for Team USA. I won. I got the spot for Combat Sambo. Sambo Wrestling, where it's just grappling, is a little different, but Combat Sambo, the one I really wanted, that's the one where I got the gold. I'm representing the U.S. now. Pan Am's, those are in Ecuador, and that's the week after this next Fury fight. So the week after, I'm going to fly right from that fight to Ecuador, and then fight again out there, win a Pan Am title for a second time, and then the World Championships in Turkmenistan. One of my dreams is to be the first ever American to win a Combat Sambo world title. That's never happened before. It's always those Russian guys in Ukraine and Kazakhstan. They always win the gold. But America has never been on the top of the podium for worlds, and that'd be pretty cool if I could do that.
Awesome, man. We're definitely going to be cheering you on for that. Speaking of, how did you just decide on a whim after your fight of, yeah, I'm just going to sign up for some Sambo, and how did you just I mean, you just had a fight. Most people kind of take some time off and relax and things. You're signing up for this huge competition. So, I mean,
Yeah, it
I,
was not on a whim. They announced nationals like a long time before, so I knew about nationals actually before that fight. But that fight took priority. I did a full training camp, 11 weeks hard for getting ready for that Fury fight, and I actually didn't train sambo at all. But I knew if I trained hard for the MMA fight, I'd be ready for combat sambo. Um, yeah, I live in a gym, so like taking time off means I means not being here. Like I have a dorm room in this gym. I can walk 10 steps and be on the mat right now. So if I'm not in training camp, I'm still training every day, all day. Like this is all I do. So yeah, actually, next week I'm gonna force myself to take time off before this camp. I'm gonna take a little road trip down to Mexico, see some friends, and then probably end up boxing out there and doing some work anyway because I'm addicted to training. But I need to get out of the gym to stop training all day, every day. My coaches are always telling me, Brett, stop overtraining. You're overtraining. So yeah, this is what I love to do.
yeah, speaking of that, I seen your Instagram post. You were looking for a boxing partner down there, somebody specifically, I think, that could drop you with a body shot or a liver
Yeah,
shot or something.
yeah.
So
I
you're
know, and the
somebody that
next
looked for that punishment
100%
on vacation.
on vacation. Yeah. So so the Mexican style of boxing, they're all so good at pressuring and then throwing those hard body shots. Um, and if I'm on vacation in Mexico, I'd be disappointed if there wasn't a good pro out there who would knock me out with a body shot. And if I'm there in Mexico, I want to go with those guys. I'm not going to waste an opportunity. I never miss an opportunity to get good training in. Um, Yeah, so I said something like, "Yeah, I'm looking for a good pro, someone who could, drop me with a liver shot, make me throw up all the tortillas I'll be eating." Um, so we'll see. We'll see what happens when I'm out there next week. So yeah,
Okay, so yeah, so we covered the MMA, the Sambo, the boxing training. You also did Lithway.
oh
Uh,
yeah,
kind of. Most Americans probably aren't super familiar with Lithway. I know I'm not super well versed, but I kind of dabbled a little bit, especially when you agreed to the interview and I seen you were the fighter. Try to dabble and trying to do some research for some people that aren't as well versed into it. Could you kind of give us a breakdown of what that is?
yes. So Lethwei, it's very similar to Muay Thai, but it is not Muay Thai. Lethwei is called the art of nine limbs, Muay Thai being the art of eight. Lethwei, you can use head strikes, which is a big game changer in the clinch and at close range. And yeah, with a big skull, if you tuck your chin properly, and you can really knock someone out with that. In Lethwei, there are no points. There are no judges at all. You can only win by knockout, and you're allowed to take what's called a timeout if you're not in the last round. If you get dropped and you can't beat the count of 10, your corner can be like, "Hey, we're taking our timeout." So technically, you have to get knocked out twice to be defeated in Lethwei. Um, unless it's the final round, then you can't use your timeout, which I think is a crazy rule. But the idea is it's a knockout only sport. There are no judges. You have to go for the knockout. And the Burmese style is all about pressure and throwing a lot of shots, going for the knockout, not trying to dance around and win on points, which I often do. So I figured it'd be good for me to really get in there and go after someone. Um, so yeah, I remember signing that contract. I'm like, wait, I really have to knock him out. There are no judges. I faced a guy. They told me he was like the record was insane. He had no losses. He has had like 87 wins, no losses, and a bunch of draws. So if you don't have a knockout, either guy because of the knockout, it's a draw. If you go all 5 rounds, it's a draw. And there's no gloves, though. It's bare knuckle. Forgot about that part. Um,
True.
so 5 rounds, bare knuckle, headbutts. You can only win by knockout. No flash knockdowns. If you knock the guy down and they get up right away, ref won't start counting. He'll let you jump right back on him.
Okay.
No ground fighting. And the ref broke us up in the clinch. I thought we could do more clinch and I could do more headbutts and more suplexes, but the ref wasn't really having it. So yeah, I could tell from the first round when I fought this guy, Sor Win, this undefeated hero. I kicked him in the head in the first round, and he just walked right through it. I'm like, okay, we're going to a draw. I'm not knocking this guy out. He hit me with some shots, and I was really bleeding a lot because the bare knuckle. I'm like, you know what? He's not knocking me out. I'm not knocking him out. We're just gonna have fun. I'm just gonna keep throwing stuff at him, and we went to a draw, and it was a great time. Everyone was warning me about going to Myanmar because there's a civil war going on there, but absolutely beautiful country, really friendly people. There wasn't a lot of English speakers. Actually, it was I had to use Google Translate a lot. There was no one in my corner who spoke English. I couldn't bring a
Oh,
team over there because yeah, it's just hard to get visas for Myanmar. So
yeah.
yeah, there's
So how
there's
did
mixed
you
things.
communicate like as they're in your corner and you can't use the Google Translate, just hope for the best?
There was no communication in the corners. Just they put ice on me, they massaged me. There was no we didn't talk. I know how to fight. Um, yeah, so there was no discussion in the corner. And then my next fight in Russia, again, I didn't bring a corner. There was no one in my corner. My Russian's not that good. And that was a bare knuckle boxing match against another undefeated champion. Yeah, that's why my nickname is the American Nomad. I just love traveling different places, especially dangerous places, and fighting whoever I can. And yeah, it was really funny in Myanmar. I was running. I had to cut a lot of weight. I was facing a guy who was smaller than me, so we made an agreement. I had to, come down and weight. And I'm running around. I'm looking for a sauna, and they didn't have a word in their language for sauna. So I'm asking all these people, like massage, no massage, sauna, and finally found out I could use the word steam room. And I found a steam room, cut the weight, made it. Yeah, that was a fun experience.
So, speaking of all this combat experience and, you're doing all these different sports and things, is MMA the for sure path forward or okay? Because
One
like I
hundred
said,
percent.
since you're doing more fight stateside, is that, just kind of temporary, or are you just wherever the fight game takes you, you're cool? Because I think I've seen you fought in a one championship before in Thailand. So are you just
Mhm.
focused more on stateside now, or are you just still wherever the game takes you?
Yeah, so the reason I came back to the States, my visa ended for Thailand, but I'm still want to go back there. There's still a lot I have to do there. But I want to get to the UFC. I'm 30. I'm running out of time. I need a fight in the UFC like that. That has to be a part of my legacy in my career. Winning a UFC debut just has to happen. And now that I'm 30, it needs to happen this year. And Fury is a great feeder to get to the UFC. I've seen they're making so many UFC fighters, and they said they can get me a lot of fights quick against good guys that will get me there to the UFC. And that's exactly what I'm doing. That's why I'm living here in Jackson Wink. UFC this year, I will win my debut. I'm confident in that. I keep beating these undefeated guys. I'll be there.
Spinning off of that and getting into the UFC, a lot of people do the contender series or the short notice call up. Do you have a preference of your shot of getting into the UFC if you had your chance? Because some people thrive in that short notice step up, and some people want that full training camp in like that contender series. Which type of guy would you consider yourself?
I prefer a full training camp, but I understand this sport. I need to be ready for whatever. I have to accept whatever comes in front of me and just go with it. My short notice. I have lost fights before because of short notice and because I was overtrained. Because I wasn't training for a fight specifically. I'm just running sprints every day and training really hard. It's like, hey, want to fight next week? And then that's one particular fight where I really felt horrible because I was overtrained. Short notice fights are difficult for me, but as I'm growing, as I'm getting more experienced, I'll be able to do these short notice fights. And yeah, short notice UFC, I'm all for it. Or full camp for Dana White's Contender Series, I'm all for it. Um, doesn't matter. I'm going to get there either way. Either path is fine by me.
Seeing you were a former teacher, do you ever get, some comparisons to another MMA fighter that's pretty famous, Rich Ace Franklin? Does anybody, compare you to him, or do you draw any inspiration from, him being,
Yeah,
a
so
successful fighter?
I love Rich Franklin. I remember when he was when I was coming up, he was the middleweight champion. Aging myself now. um, but yeah, he also he's a commentator for one championship. So we both have that one championship connection. I've never personally met him, but yeah, I remember he was like a high school science teacher. I was a high school social studies teacher. And I can confirm, it's much harder than fighting in a cage. You got 30 students, all with different needs, all trying to fight each other. You're trying to break up all these fights and then trying to teach everyone and everyone learn and everyone stay safe. It's such a more difficult challenge than a sport. Um, but yeah, I learned a lot in my days as a teacher that made me a much better person. And I'm really grateful for my experience as a school teacher and as a school administrator.
Yeah, because that like as you said, it kind of takes a special person to want to be an educator and to put themselves in that environment, because it can be super chaotic, and it just seems to get more chaotic as technology
Yeah.
and things grow. But and outside of that, we talked about all your traveling. What's the favorite country that fighting has brought you?
I'm kind of biased towards Thailand because living in Phuket, tropical paradise, being surrounded by Dagestani wrestlers and good Thai food, and uh, Thailand was my home for like almost over a year. Um, but every country I've been to, every place I go, has changed me a little bit or taught me something as a person. Um, and I wouldn't be who I am without each one of the experiences I've had in different countries. Um, but yeah, Thailand is kind of I think of that as home, and eventually I'm going to move back there. If I get a work visa, maybe live there forever one day. But we see. We'll see how life goes.
Yeah. Hopefully, man. It seems, you do have like a good connection with Thailand. You seem, very positive and, talking about your experiences there. Spinning kind of off of more of your travel stuff, what's one culinary dish that surprised you that, you kind of went in, somebody suggested to you and you're like, I don't know, but you tried it and you're like, wow, that is amazing.
Two things come to mind right now. Okay, Central Asian cuisine. The first foreign country I ever went to was actually Uzbekistan, for the Combat Sambo World Championships. Uzbekistan, and the next year was Kyrgyzstan, and both have similar cuisines. They have like the softest bread, but they also love horse meat, and horse meat is like kind of thicker than, more chewy than the beef. Just it's pretty unique. Yeah, loved having horse meat and pasta and bread out there. Especially after making weight. Central Asian cuisine, so underrated, and nobody really knows about it. So another one that comes to mind in Australia. um, I had a fight there in Eternal MMA for their title, and after I made weight, you're able to. I was able to order. It was like kangaroo meat, kangaroo burgers, and those are actually really delicious. Those are kind of like the texture of, like, it felt like I was eating a hamburger, but eating a kangaroo. um, and then
I'm
they
all
had this.
about, trying that stuff. I'm a fan of gator. I know a lot of people here in the States kind of think gator's a little weird, but I'm a huge fan of that. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, that's actually a perfect transition. There was this one place I went where you get this sample platter of all these different meats. I think it was called Outback Jacks, if I'm not mistaken. And one of the not gator, it was crocodile tail, camel meat, wild boar, kangaroo. It was something else that was ridiculous. Oh, emu. It was like all these different meats on sticks. I was like, they're all so unique. I'm never gonna have this probably anywhere else. I'll never find a place where I can have emu again.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, you
No,
got to
that's
tell me where in
awesome.
the states I can get a gator meat. That sounds delicious.
Louisiana,
Okay, I'm
around the
going.
New Orleans area. That's honestly probably the best places I've had gator. But yeah, it's really good. Like I said, a lot of people kind of think it's weird, but to me, it tastes like chicken. I know, like that's probably like a cop out, but
Mhm.
honestly, it's tastes like chicken to me. Again, more of your travel stuff. You had a post, I think, all the countries you've been to and stuff. One country you'd like to fight in the most.
Oh, I gotta say Japan. I just watched a Ryzen show the other day. I love how it drives me crazy here in the States. You can't throw knees to the head on the ground, front headlock on the ground. You can't throw knees. In one championship, that's allowed. But they can go further. They can throw soccer kicks to the ground, which I figure if you're standing up, you can kick someone in the head. But as soon as they're down, you can't kick them in the head. I don't understand that rule. I think the Ryzen rules make a lot of sense, and I'd just love to fight in a Saitama Super Arena or a Tokyo Dome. I grew up watching Pride, so that would
Yeah.
be just such a dream come true. Everyone wants to fight in Japan. That's
So
yeah.
what's the second country you'd like to fight in since Japan is obviously number one? Second
Okay.
favorite.
So I can say I did every continent. I was talking to a promoter of EFC in South Africa, and I was trying to line up a fight there. So I can say I fought in every continent except for Antarctica. Um,
I mean, that could be
but
coming soon. I mean, we're in
it
some,
could be.
uncharted times and, maybe space eventually. You never
Oh,
know.
I'd just fight in space. Sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like perfect, you know? I mean, the American Nomad first fight in space. I mean, come on. It just writes itself.
I'm 100% for it. A trip to Antarctica, have a fight there, and like a insulate. I don't know how that would work. Yeah, space, Antarctica, Mars. Oh yeah, if we colonize Mars, we can have a fight there.
Oh,
Let's do it.
definitely. If you're wanting to go to Mars and stuff, what's something that you kind of pass time on long travel trips? Like, I know you go overseas, but if we're going to Antarctica and space,
Mhm.
what's something you're going to do to pass that time?
If I'm driving, I'm listening to a podcast. I'm always trying to learn. If I can learn something new. Um, but if I have my hands free, I'll prefer to read a book or I'm trying to learn how to play chess. I'm not that great yet. Playing chess or reading books on my phone. Um, and usually at the airport when I have Wi-Fi, I'm always watching fights. I watch hundreds of fights a day. Always watching technique videos. Always watching fights. Um, yeah, reading, watching fights, studying. I just love to learn.
Is there any hobby or interest that might surprise people?
I play the ukulele. I'm not bad at it. I'm good. I'm not great at it. But yeah, I play the ukulele because it's a small instrument. It's easy to just practice without really putting too much like effort in. I have a guitar that I almost with a horse head on it back there. I play guitar. I don't practice a lot because guitars it's such a big thing. I can't carry it around. My ukulele I could just throw in my car. Fit in my bag easily. So ukulele I can practice a lot more. Um, yeah, I'd say ukulele. Um,
Are you able to do like some of the like I'm not a music person, so can you do like some of the rock songs that you can do on like the guitar on the ukulele? Or is it like a completely different animal of like trying to learn how to do?
it's I'd say it's just easier. Like the strings are further apart, and there's only four of them. Um, yeah, you won't do as many like rock songs, more like reggae, more it's more high pitch, nicer, more friendly, like type of instrument. Guitar you could do a lot more on. There's so many more strings. There's just a lot more to learn. And I think it's a lot harder. Ukulele I feel like is you know for me it's not that hard to practice. The strings are far apart. I always, have injured fingers from jujitsu and grabbing the gi and punching. So, actually, one of my fingers is like pretty deformed. It's pretty easy to play ukulele for me. For guitar, it's a lot harder, and sometimes it's painful to make certain chords.
Yeah.
Um, Not that I'm great at either, but yeah.
It's still pretty cool, it's an interest and it's something, to get your mind off fighting since you're always in fighting mode and researching fighting and things. If you could tell your younger self or an aspiring fighter coming up, just beginning their career, what's one piece of advice you would give them?
There are so many better ways to make a living than fighting. Fighting is terrible for you. Don't do it. I tell a lot of people, do not fight, unless you're willing to train all day, every day, and do nothing else. You have to be willing to give up money. Like, I had a much better job as a teacher and school administrator. I had a much better career path. Had to give that up. There's a much safer and easier type of life. So be smart and do the easier life instead. But if you're already a fighter and it's too late for you, then I'd say work hard every single day. Just listen to your coaches and be completely obsessed. There can't be other things um, that take priority over fighting. Like you're gonna get in a cage and risk potentially your life. So you need to train like your life is on the line because it is. Brain damage is real. You get in there, you can shorten your lifespan. So you need to train every day like your life depends on it because it does. So take it very seriously. Listen to your coaches. Always be respectful and absorb as much knowledge as you can, and always get extra reps in. Um, for me, that meant moving into a gym so I could get away from everything else. I don't have to drive to training every day. I could just wake up and walk there, so I can get even more reps in. Until your coaches tell you to stop overtraining, which um, is always a problem with me. I've actually lost fights because of overtraining, but yeah, listening to your coaches and always working hard. Work harder than everyone else in the room.
I appreciate your time because you're a busy man, and I hope your vacation goes good, and I hope you do find somebody that makes you throw up all those tortillas you're going to be eating down there. Is is there any sponsors or anybody you'd like to give a special shout out right now?
Oh yeah, just hung my banner up. I forgot to pull my banner. I wasn't able to get my banner up for the last Fury fight. Um, Comfort Suites, thank you guys so much. Always supporting me, really taking care of me. There's my little penguin logo. Um, and then Loud Cloud Magazine. I don't know. Am I allowed to advertise that on here?
Yeah, sure.
Loud Cloud. Okay, Loud Cloud Magazine. Those guys have always been so supportive of me. Thank you so much. Of course, we're here at Jackson Wink Gym. This is my room, in my dorm room, by the way, that I live in. The mats are right outside. um, so, yeah, thank you so much to all my sponsors, Blau Pre-Workout and One Sleeve Jiu-Jitsu, and everyone else, all my training partners, family. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys June 22nd, UFC Fight Pass. That's like the contract is going to be signed soon, but that's going to be the next MMA fight. Can't wait to see you guys there.
Awesome, man. Good luck on that on your next fight and the Sambo championships, and hopefully we can catch up after that if you have some free time in between sparring sessions and the next fight after all that.